Halloween's origins go as far back as 2000 years in the past, and traditions such as trick-or-treating have been celebrated for more than a century in the United States and other countries around the world. Adults and children alike anticipate this event enthusiastically, but so do killers and murderers who find the atmosphere adequate to commit their hideous crimes. Here are some of the most chilling ones. Number 7. The Candy Bag. On Chicago's South Side in 2011, 55-year-old Liddell Peoples went berserk over a missing bag of Halloween candy. He blamed his girlfriend Maria Adams for stealing it. The argument escalated very quickly, and during the dispute, a plate was thrown, and Peoples suffered a cut over his eye. This fight ended in tragedy when Peoples, wielding a knife, stabbed his 49-year-old girlfriend multiple times, resulting in her death. Number 6. The Tragic Egging. 21-year-old computer programmer from the Bronx, Carl Jackson, was driving his girlfriend and his son home from a Halloween party on Saturday night when his car was egged by a group of teenagers. He then got out of his car to confront the youth, and after a brief argument, he walked back to his car and drove away. One of the young men followed him on the vehicle and shot him in the head a few blocks further. The criminal has never been found. Number 5. Candyman. On October 31st, neighbors O'Brien and Jim Bates of Deer Park, Texas, took their children out trick-or-treating. Later that night, Timothy O'Brien would die from eating poisoned candy. It was later found that his father was the culprit. Ronald Clark O'Brien had fallen deeply into debt and decided to kill his son in order to collect on an insurance policy. He purchased potassium cyanide, sprinkled it inside 5 Pixie Stix straws, and handed them out to his son, daughter, and 3 other neighborhood kids. Timothy, apparently at his father's urging, swallowed the Pixie Stix powder. He soon began vomiting uncontrollably and was dead before reaching the hospital. O'Brien was found guilty of murder and died via lethal injection. This incident has struck fear into the hearts of many parents who restrict their children on the dreadful night. Ronald Clark O'Brien is responsible for changing Halloween forever. He is the man who killed Halloween. Number 4. Halloween, the movie. While watching it, I was amazed at how at ease the boy was during the murders, and how little remorse he had afterwards. I was thinking to myself, it will be the same for me when I kill someone. Those were the words of Jake Evans, who, inspired by the movie Halloween, murdered his sister and mother on the night of October 31st, 2012. He was 17 years old when he shot his siblings at their Weatherford home and called 911 to confess his murder. After being sentenced to 45 years in prison, Jake admitted that unlike the fictional character in the movie, this incident was a nightmare that will haunt him forever. Number 3. The Hanging Woman. In 2015, 31-year-old Rebecca Cade of Ohio was found hanging from a fence in the ghastly Halloween night. Many ongoers mistook the corpse for a morbid decoration. The dead body was only identified as such when a construction worker, who also thought it was a decoration, went to remove it, and realized it was a human body. Prior to the murder, Rebecca Cade was beaten mercilessly by her murderer. Number 2. The Story of Lisa French. On the Halloween night in 1973, 9-year-old Lisa French of Fond du Lac went trick-or-treating, but she never came back home after that night. Her body was found a few days later in a farm field. Her neighbor, Gerald Turner, would later confess to the murder of the girl. On that tragic night, she rang his doorbell and he took her into his house and shut the door behind her. He raped her, killed her, stuffed her body in a plastic bag and dumped it in a field. Turner would later write, "I can still see you standing in the doorway, with that felt heart beaming at having recognized me, and then I see the delight in your eyes turn to fear as I close the door behind you." Number 1. The Toolbox Killers. On Halloween night 1979 at approximately 10:30 p.m, Shirley Ledford was hitchhiking home from her job at a restaurant when 2 men, Lauren Spitaker and Roy Norris, pulled her off of the teen a ride. The 16-year-old innocently got into their van, but little did she know, Lauren Spitaker and Roy Norris were serial killers known as the Toolbox Killers, Indeed, they routinely employed implements such as pliers and hammers in their rapes, tortures, and murders. For hours on end, they tortured Shirley while she was desperately screaming for mercy. They bound her and gagged her, smashed her elbow repeatedly with a hammer, while urging her to scream. They also sodomized her with pliers, and finally strangled her to death with a wire coat hanger before dumping her on a random front lawn. These horrifying moments of agony were tape recorded by Norris, who later said, "We've all heard women screaming in horror films. Still, we know that no one is really screaming. Why? Simply because an actress can't produce some sounds that convince us that something vile and heinous is happening."